The first day of school should be a fresh start, a clean slate. But for Emily Carter, walking into Crestwood Middle School felt more like stepping into enemy territory. She wasn't just the new girl, she was the shy, awkward, loner new girl, carrying the weight of her past like a second backpack. Her clothes were worn but neat, her hair tied in a simple braid, and her eyes, always cast downward, told stories of heartbreak no one bothered to ask about. Her father, Mark Carter, a decorated Marine, had died in service when she was just 11. Since then, Emily had moved around 3 schools in 2 years. Her mother, Lisa, did her best, working long hours at the diner, while Emily lived with her grandmother. She barely had time to unpack her boxes before she was expected to fit into a school full of strangers. But Emily didn't want attention. She wanted peace. Unfortunately, peace isn't something the popular kids at Crestwood offered. Emily's first encounter with them came during lunch. As she quietly looked for an empty table, her tray of food trembling in her hands, she heard a snide voice. "New girl alert," sneered Kelsey Monroe, the queen bee of the 8th grade. Tall, blonde, with a phone always glued to her hand, Kelsey was the type who could ruin someone's day with a look. "Who let a scarecrow in?" laughed Trent Davis, her loud, obnoxious sidekick, while Brianna, the third member of their toxic trio, fake smiled and added, "That outfit's vintage, like from the trash." Emily kept walking. "Hey! We're talking to you!" Trent shouted, tossing a grape at her back. Still, Emily said nothing. Not because she was weak, but because she'd learned that silence was her safest shield. But silence only made them bolder. They started tripping her in the hallways, whispering cruel names, and flooding her locker with ketchup packets. She tried to brush it off. She told herself to stay invisible. But one day, during gym class, Trent filmed her changing shoes and posted it online with the caption, "New girl's got grandma socks." It went semi-viral within the school. She wanted to disappear. On Friday, just before dismissal, the unthinkable happened. It was raining. The sky was gray and heavy, like it was mourning something. Emily had just left the building, heading toward the bus stop alone. Her hoodie was up, her books hugged tightly to her chest. That's when she heard them. "There she is!" Trent called out, laughing. Kelsey and Brianna flanked him, all 3 soaked but clearly enjoying the moment. "Hey dumpster Barbie! Got your throne ready?" Kelsey mocked. Before Emily could react, Trent and Brianna grabbed her arms while Kelsey lifted the lid of the school dumpster near the parking lot. "No! Let go!" Emily cried out, struggling. But they laughed and threw her in like she was trash. The lid slammed shut. Inside the dumpster, it was cold, wet, and smelled of spoiled fruit and sour milk. For a few seconds, Emily sat there in shock, shivering. Then something snapped inside her. Not anger. Not hatred. Focus. In her mind, she heard her father's voice again. "Emily, true strength is knowing when to stay calm, and when to rise." She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, letting the pain settle. Then, with determination burning in her chest, she climbed out of the dumpster, her clothes soaked, her braid undone, but her spirit unshakable. The bullies were still there, laughing, filming, proud of themselves. Emily didn't shout. She didn't cry. She dropped her books to the ground, took a wide stance, and moved like lightning. Before Trent could react, Emily swept his legs and knocked him flat on his back. His phone flew from his hand and shattered on the pavement. Kelsey screamed, "What the hell?" She charged at Emily. Emily stepped aside and delivered a precise karate chop to her shoulder joint. Kelsey spun and slipped, falling right into the dumpster herself. Brianna backed away, hands up. Emily looked at her calmly. "Leave me alone." Brianna didn't argue. She turned and ran. A stunned silence fell over the crowd of students who had gathered. Some had filmed it. Others just watched in awe. But Emily didn't wait around. She picked up her books, pulled her hoodie back up, and walked toward the bus, head held high. That night, the video went viral across the school. But not in the way the bullies expected. People weren't laughing at Emily. They were cheering. Comments poured in. Did you see that takedown? She's a ninja. Kelsey got what she deserved. Even teachers privately commended her for defending herself with control. On Monday, everything changed. Emily walked into school and wasn't invisible anymore. A boy named Caleb, quiet and kind, offered to carry her books. A group of girls asked her to sit with them at lunch. The karate coach personally invited her to join the school team. But Emily didn't let the attention get to her head. She just smiled and kept walking with the same calm strength that had always been there waiting to be seen. In the end, Emily's story wasn't just about fighting back. It was about rising above cruelty. About knowing your worth. About holding your ground not with fists, but with purpose. Because sometimes, the quietest girl in school is the one with the loudest power of all. Moral of the story. Never mistake silence for weakness. Sometimes, the strongest people are the ones who refuse to strike until it truly matters.